Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is D3kryption and I hope you are well. In the last few tutorials we've gone through setting up a basic attack system and a damage system so we can start destroying things. So in today's tutorial I figured we'd pair it up with Narrative, the quest and dialogue plugin, so we can create a quest based on these new functionality we've added. So I'm going to go and create a quest where some barrels are blocking probably this stairway here so you can't get to the portal from another tutorial. And you have to destroy them. There'll be a kid stood here saying, oh, he's upset, you need to destroy the barrels. You go up and destroy them. That angers somebody who comes and tells you off, kind of thing. I think that'd be a cool little tutorial. So let's get started. So I've actually just moved this entire mountain before we start, and just to free some room here, because I didn't like how it was touching the edge of well, I guess it's a walkway, isn't it? So I'm thinking we'll reuse the barrels that we created last time. If you've not seen that tutorial, it is literally just a damageable generic barrel. You can walk up, you can punch it, it gets destroyed, kind of thing. So I'm thinking we need to block somewhere of up here off, and I'm kind of tempted to just literally block this little bit off here and have the person stood like down here going, hey, you can't come up this way, someone's blocked off the barrels, kind of thing. So I'm literally just going to place the destructible barrels in a position where it basically blocks you getting past. So there we go. So I've placed my barrels here, but I want to make sure that it's specifically blocked off. So I don't want you to be able to get through, destroy one portion and go through, kind of thing. An old style technique like you'd see on games like Fable or something. So what I'm going to come and do is I'm actually going to come and add a blocking volume into it. And all this is going to do, if it lets me place it, is actually block this off so the player or NPCs can't walk through it until this blocking volume is gone. So I'm just going to come place this here, and what we'll do is we'll actually create an event to destroy this via the quest as well. So it doesn't matter if you destroy a few barrels, all the barrels must be gone so you can actually get through. And I'm going to extend it, so just in case you try to be clever and jump over this way, it won't let you do that either. There we go, so I've got my blocking volume. So I'm going to come and rename this blocking volume, so I'll call it BV Bridge Blocker. And then I've got all my barrels here, which are blocking the bridge off nicely. So let's place C. So I'm going to come and find my NPC that we created in earlier tutorials. And I'll just drop him down here on these steps here. So when you walk up the steps, he can basically talk to you. And I've always imagined it to be a little kid kind of thing. I don't have any models of kids in fantasy yet, so I'm literally just going to shrink him by like 0.7 so he looks smaller. And then, you know, we can always work on it, change his costumes and stuff at a different time. And we'll call this NPC Bridge Blocking Kid. There we go. I'll make sure to scroll down and I'll set his name as well. And then we'll set his dialogue up in a moment. So you come up these stairs, you'll pretty much talk to him because we'll make his dialogue thing start here, and then that will basically say you can't get through to the bridge. The quest will start and say make sure there's a way past the bridge, so we'll destroy all those. Then upon destroying it, we can basically start a dialogue where somebody spawns here, runs, you know, to here or something and says, hey, you weren't supposed to do that, and then eventually he'll attack you. It'll be like a miniature combat scenario. At the moment it's just going to stand there because I haven't built all that in yet. So let's get started on our dialogue. So I'm going to go to my Blueprints Narrative Dialogue folder, and I'm going to actually create a new folder for the entire quest. So I'll call it the Block Bridge Quest, and I'll create a new narrative dialogue. I'll call it DB Bridge Blocking Kid. I'll make sure to set the speaker up, so space, and his name, we're not going to find out his name, it'll literally just be Bridge Blocking Kid. So it'll say, hi there, I'm Bridge Blocking Kid, which we don't want, because then we can do conditional based things later. So from this, I will drag off, I'll say, hey, some kids have blocked off the bridge so you can't get past, and you get rid of them so I can go home, please. So you're going to feel more inclined to want to do it. I'm going to add a play response of, why would they block the bridge, so you can further the dialogue. Add another one of, sure, I'll get rid of the blockage. And then I guess you could do a final one of where we just say, no, find the guard, and then you can just go from there. So if you say, why would they block the bridge? I'll put, I don't know, kids are kids, I guess, now will you help me? So I actually want to be able to backlink this up to show these three options again. So what I'm going to do is just drag off of here, add another dialogue line for him, but I'm going to come and tick compact view here. So we've got a nice little separator. Then I'm going to hold the control key and grab all of these white nodes and paste it in here, and then we can just get rid of the top one and back. So now that we've done that, we can easily backlink up from here using narrative all the way around again into this node here. So now when we say this, it'll say kids are kids, are you going to help me or not? And it'll take you back here so you can pick the options. If you say no, find the guard, he can say, well, I was always told adults would help us, so we can do that. Then that'll just end the dialogue and you can come and talk to him again if you want to. And if he says sure, I'll get rid of the blockage, you can say, haha, yay, it's just up there, please hurry. So if we do that, then we can start the quest. So that's the dialogue in its basic form. So So I'm going to come to my narrative quest folder now. I'll create another folder just in case we have multiple quests within it called Block Bridge. And then I can open up my narrative quest and I'll see QB Block Bridge. So the quest name will just be Block Bridge, and the description for it will be the bridge is blocked and the child has asked you to unblock it. Nice and simple. So from the start of my quest, it's going to come straight off, and we don't actually have a destroy item task. So we can go and create one, because it'll be really simple to do, because in the last tutorial when we set the destructible barrels up, I open this up, we actually have the damage system here, and the damage system has its on death. So when we destroy the barrel, we can actually pick up that it's been destroyed. So we can use a narrative task in order to grab hold of the on death and then say, make sure you destroy all the barrels. So I know there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 barrels, so that's fine. So I'm going to come to my narrative tasks folder, and I'm going to create a new narrative task, and I will simply call it NT kill actor. Because then later we can reuse it for the kill of an NPC as well, because an actor will represent everything. So all I'm going to do is come and overwrite the begin task here, and I'm going to straight away come off and do get all actors of class with hag. So the actor class, we can just come off and promote it to a variable, so we can choose in narrative what type of actor we want. And then I'm also going to promote the tag. So for the actor class, because it's more efficient than searching every single actor, we can specify the barrel in this case. For the tag, we will add a tag to the barrel saying destructible barrel or something. Then we can come and for each loop over all of these. And then from here, I just need to go to my barrel and get the damage component. So what I'm going to do is drag off from array element and do get component by class, because we've only got one component we want to get. The component will be AC damage system, which is the one we set up last time. And then from here, we have the damage system object reference, and we can simply do assign on death, like so. And then when the barrel dies, all I'm going to do is add progress, because that's all I want to do for this quest here. So that's basically adding 1 to narrative's quantity. So when we set this up, we'll tell narrative the quantity of this task is 6. So after you destroy 6 barrels, that's it, it'll do. The next thing we're going to do to finalize this off is I'll just overwrite end task, and I'll make sure to copy all of this get all actors of class with for loop. And the reason we're copying it again and not just caching it is if we cache it, we're destroying them here. So we're holding null reference exceptions. We don't need to hold it anymore. There could be more barrels that spawn. It could be anything throughout the quest. So it's safer to re-get it again and take the minor performance hit, because then you're not holding all the objects in memory throughout the quest, and you're also picking up anything else that spawn. Think of it if you're doing a combat wave system. You start off with 5 enemies, you kill 3 of them, 10 more spawn. You kill 5 more, 10 more spawn, and then your task ticking up. You're not going to cache all these newly spawned ones. So this will ensure that we do it. I'm also going to copy the get component class from there, and then from here I can unbind on death. And then the event I want to unbind is this one here, so we can just plug it in and we can plug that over there. So that's pretty much it done. What we can also do is come to the class settings and just give it a nice name. So I'll do kill actor. Allows you to specify an actor to kill using the damage system. And the category I will put kill, because we can't specifically name it as after an NPC. And there we go. So if we compile and save that now and jump back to our quest, we should be able to drag off of here and go into our kill tasks and our kill actor here. So if you've not watched a previous tutorial, all we've done is set up a damage component here, and all it handles is when the damage is taken, it checks the health of the actor, removes the health. If they've died, it calls death and calls our event here. If they've taken damage, then it calls our damage taken here. So we're going to get called our event dispatcher right here. We've bound onto that, so as soon as they die, we will be informed, which is perfect. So on here, we want to set the act class to be our barrel, so generic barrel. The tag, I will set it to blockbridge _ generic barrel, and I'm doing a specific named one. So if we have any other destructible barrels in the world, it's not going to go and tell you to, come all the way down here and destroy these ones, and all of a sudden the quest is unlocked, because that doesn't work right. I'm going to come and select all my barrels here, and I'm going to make sure I add a tag to them of the same one we've just used there, generic barrel. So now that we've tagged those, I'm also going to come and tag the blocker here, just so we can access it later, and I will call it the same thing, but instead of generic barrel, I'll call it the blocking volume, like so. Pine and save. So back in the task here, so we've got a quantity of 6 we know we need to get rid of, and we will set the description to be find a way to remove the blockage, and it'll say 1 out of 6 or 2 out of 6 as you destroy them. So if we go back to our dialogue, let's actually start it up. It'll say, haha, yeah, please hurry. So we will start the quest just here. So I'll go and add a task of begin quest. The quest I want to start will be the block bridge, and I will do it at the end of the dialogue. Now, if we compile and save, if we jump back to the dialogue here, we actually need to tell him to play it. So I'll tap on him. I'll make sure to add a tag to his character of bridge blocking kid, and we do this so narrative knows which dialogue to point it at. And then the only other thing we need to do is add the correct dialogue. There we go. So let's give it a try now. So if we now run up to this bridge over here so we can actually access it, you can see we can't get through. We can talk to him if we want. It's something we need to do, but I'm not going to do that just yet. You can see we absolutely cannot get through. Even if we climb up, we can't get through. We could probably make the barrels higher, to be honest. Yep, that's all good. So I'm going to come and talk to this kid who's mysteriously watching me, and he'll say, hey, some kids have blocked off the bridge so you can't get past. Can you get rid of them so I can go home, please? So I'm going to come and say, why would they block the bridge? And he'll say, I don't know, kids being kids, I guess. Now will he help me or not? So is the kid's quite demanding? No, fine, a guard. Well, I was always told the adults would help us. I'll come back to him, start it off again. Sure, I'll help. Hey, yeah, just please, sorry. Okay, good. They want us to go and destroy it. We've not got a task description, so we can set it up in a minute. I'll just destroy it. There we go. So we've destroyed 4. There we go. Barrels definitely need some work, but yeah, it's pretty much getting there nicely, as you can see. So there are a few bits that I've noticed. One, the bridge blocking volume does need to be destroyed because we've still got it there, which is fine. We can do that as well. And we need to sort the task description out. And a camera would be nice. There's plenty of things we can do. So starting off with this kid, I'm just going to move this kid a little bit more prominent, so you're more likely to try and talk to him. Then I want a camera on my narrative, so I'm just going to come and select a, let's try a medium shot and see how that works. Perfect. You noticed I came back and talked to the kid after leaving it already, so I don't have to do that again. I want some different dialogue to make it feel more loved. It's a part of narrative, isn't it? I'm going to add a new dialogue line for the bridge blocking kid and say, hey, you finally changed your mind. And we'll say, on this one here, the condition is, has dialogue node played? The dialogue node will be this exact same ID, and I'll say not. So if you've not played it, it'll come down here. But if you have played it, then it's going to come down here instead. So what I'm going to do is just come here, hold shift and right click on the conditions, shift left click on the conditions here to paste it, and I'll just set the not to tick. So if you've played this once, you can come down and do it all. If you've not played this, you can do this, then come down here. If you have played it, then you have to come over here and you'll do that one, just so narrative remembers who you are a little bit. After that, we don't really want to be doing this again if we were already in the middle of the quest. So what I'm actually going to do is drag off here again and add an empty node. I'm going to leave the compact view off, but I'm going to add a condition of is quest started or finished, and I'll tick the not. And in the options, I'll set the quest to bridge blocker and move all this down here. So basically what we're saying is if you've not started or finished a quest, then it'll do this. Otherwise, if you have, then we'll go and do something else, which will be over here. So we'll say if you haven't finished a quest yet, we can add a dialogue line here. So we'll say, have you removed the barrels yet? So we'll add the condition of is quest succeeded, and the quest will be the block bridge, and we'll say not. So if you've not started or finished, it will come down here. If you've not succeeded it, it will ask you if you've removed the barrels yet. If you have succeeded it, then we can just copy this condition, shift right click, shift left click, paste, and we'll say if you have succeeded it, this is going to be the trick to the quest. He will basically say, hey, ha ha ha, I can't believe you destroyed the guard's barrels. It was so easy. So the kid's actually tricking you. You're not supposed to destroy it at all. The guards have blocked it off for a reason, and you just came up and destroyed it. And then the guard harasses you, you take him out, and yeah, it's just a fun little quest that I kind of feel like would be in a Fable game. The task is the next one. So I'm just going to come and overwrite the get task description because it's not generating it correctly. And I'll format the text here, and I'll just say kill name, and then the name will be the tag. That'll be the default one, but we can always overwrite it if we need to. So in my case, I don't just want it to say kill the block bridge barrel. I'm going to move this description into here instead, like so. I can compile and save. So if we do destroy it, the next thing we want to do is get rid of the blocking volume. So that's really easy to do with a simple narrative event. I'm going to come into my narrative events folder, and I'm going to create a new narrative event, and I'll call it any destroy actor. This is one of my favorite narrative events because it proper lets you build out your world. So I'll overwrite execute event. I'll drag off of here and do get all actors with tag, and I'm just going to promote this tag to a variable. Now you might be wondering why I'm not using the with class, and it's actually more reusable if we just do it this way, because then I can just specify all the NPCs, all the bandits, all the barrels, all the bridges with the same tag and just wipe them all out in one go. I don't have to run 5, 6, 7 events for all the different aspects, which is absolutely perfect if you're restarting a quest. I'm going to plug this in here, and then all I'm going to do is drag off of here and just do destroy actor. So we'll loop through it all, destroy, 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 destroy. I can also overwrite the get graph display text, plug it in, and I'll just append onto here, destroy all actors with tag, and we'll drop our tag in. I'll make sure to overwrite the class settings and say destroy actors, and I'll set the blueprint category to destroy. And now what we can do is we can come back to the quest, and just after we've finished this task and we're on this state, I'm going to add the event of destroy actors, and the tag will be the tag of our blocking volume here. So I can paste this in, and I'll say at the start of this state, because at the moment we'll be waiting there until we finish the task, then we'll move on to this state, then we'll destroy all the blocking volume. value. So if we give it another try now, so now with all the changes we've made, if we run up to the kid up here, you'll see we can interact. So the camera's messed up a little bit, we do need to sort that, but then when we look at the player, that's looking all good. So I'll say no, find a guard, and I'll say why I was told adults would help. So if I stand here, does it fix camera a little? We might need to tweak it. It's a bit better, but not massively. Have you changed your mind? There we go. So we've got different dialogue already, which is good. And I'll say, sure, I'll get rid of the blockage. Haha, it's just up there. So the quest is now started. So we should have another dialogue, which says, have you removed the barrels yet? Perfect. So we've come up, we can't get through. Let's take them all out and we'll go. There we go. So now we can walk through as well. How cool is that? So if we talk to him now, he will say, have you removed the barrels yet? Because we haven't finished a quest. So that is coming on very, very nicely. So now after we destroyed the barrels, we actually want to spawn the guard here saying, hey, what do you do that for? Blah, 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 blah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come and create another narrative event, but I'm going to make this one specific and I'm going to call it any spawn NPC. I would normally do spawn actor from class, but NPCs have a lot of custom properties you can build into them, such as what their name is, what dialogue do you want to play, what do you want to do, blah, 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 blah. So we can build that all in later, but for now, if we create it as a specific event, we've got the option to do it. So from here, I'm just going to do spawn actor from class. The class will be a type of ALS NPC because that's the base class for mine. The transform, I will drag off and I will just promote to a variable. This would mean if you want to spawn different heights and stuff, you've got the option. The collision handling, I'm going to choose to always spawn ignore collisions because I want it to always be spawned. And then you'll notice that I actually can't pick the dialogue or anything yet. So I'm actually going to open my NPC up and go into it. And I'm going to find my dialogue variable. And I'm going to make sure I tick expose on spawn. And I'll also do the same for name because then we can customize the guard who spawns. Because it's good to have named NPCs in the game, such as this locking kid. We'll probably make him a named NPC one day. But for a random guard you're going to take out and never pay any attention to, there's no need to keep the extra storage to store a data profile for him. So I'm just going to spawn him as and when here. But you'll see now that we've ticked those. If I come back to my spawn NPC, we have the properties exposed here. I'm going to promote both of these to a variable, and we very well might not use them, but it at least populates it if we do. And then with that, I can just for now just return just like that. So I'm going to come and overwrite the get graph display text, and I'll append from here, and I'll do spawn NPC, and I'll just literally put his name in for now. That'll be enough for us to know what we're doing. I'm going to make sure I set the class settings because it's always nicer if you do. Spawn NPC, and I'll set the category to be NPC. So if we compile and save, back on the quest now, after we have destroyed all the actors locking bridge volume, we can now come in and spawn our NPC. There we are. So we want to do it at the start of the state, so as soon as we reach it. The name will be bridge guard. The dialogue we haven't set up yet, and the spawn transform, well, I know I kind of want him to be here, you know, maybe he'll hear the ruckus and like run up. That'll be the explanation or something, just like that. I'm going to copy his location, shift right click, and back on the quest I will paste his location, and I will do the same for rotation, and we know the scale's 111, so we're okay with that. Then I can delete that off, and now all we need is to set him up a dialogue. But before I do, I'm just going to drag off, and I already know where I want to kill the guard, so I'll add the kill command here, and I'll say actor class will be our generic ALS NPC. Our tag will be blocked bridge guard, which at the moment you've noticed we've got no way of tagging the NPC with this. So just like I said earlier, we can easily add new variables to it. I'm going to come back to my spawn NPC. I'm going to drag off from here, and I will just do get tags, and then I will drag up and I will do append array, and I'll add it to here. Now you might be thinking, why am I using an array to add tags? It is common more often than not to add multiple tags to something. So you might add his name, you might add what quest he belongs to, and you can do it all in one go, which makes it a lot easier. I'm actually going to create the tags as a variable and just append to it. It also means that you don't need to check if the tag is filled or not, because if you try to add an empty name to the tags, it will add an empty name. You'll just have an empty row, and you don't want that. Whereas appending an array, it will only append what it has. So if your array has nothing, it won't append nothing. So it's actually a lot more efficient as well, and it's a lot nicer. So now I can come back to my quest here, and you'll see I have a new tags variable here. So I can just tag my guard with that name there, and then when it says I have to kill him there. Take out the angry guard, and then after that we will just succeed the quest. There we go. Then if I compile and save, I should be able to destroy the barrels, take the guard out. And now you can see if we walk on up to the guard, talk to the kid, and he'll say, yep, get rid of the blockage. I can come and just destroy. What have I missed? Them ones. Oh, them ones. Now it's done. The guard spawned, but of course we're going to start with dialogue, so you won't see him spawn in. So it's almost a smoke and mirror effect. It'll say take out the angry guard, let's take him out, there'll be a fight here, you know, he'll hit you, you'll hit him, I don't know, he'll call reinforcements, we take him out, and you'll notice when we kill the guard, nothing happens. The quest doesn't succeed. And the reason this is down to the order narrative actually runs quests and events. I believe this is being looked at in the next version, but at least for now it's good to know. Narrative doesn't run the events until it's ran the tasks. So what that means is we're coming in here and we start off on this state here. It looks down all the tasks it needs to run and executes them, then runs all the events it needs to run at the start, then waits until it's finished the state, then runs all the events at the end. Meaning when we finish this task here and we come to this state here, the first thing it does is run all the tasks, which is to take out the angry guard, then it runs the start events, which is to spawn the guard, and then it runs all the end states when we leave this state once we've completed this task. So at the moment, this task here is trying to execute to find the guard, not finding him, and then shortly after, then it does it. Now, there are a couple of ways you can fix this. If you've got the option to move it back a state, then you can absolutely do that. It might be sometimes that you physically can't move it back anymore. Maybe you're playing directly off quest start. In that case, at the moment, the temporary fix is to just add a delay node right at the beginning with a delay of 0, which basically means to freeze for 1 frame and then continue, which will give narrative enough time to run all the events and then come back. I believe in the next version of narrative, it is being changed around, so the events will run before tasks. It'll run the start or both events, run the tasks, run the end events after it's finished. So if we come and try it now, we should have be able to take the guard out. Now with that, if we talk to the kid and then we break the barrels, you'll see the guard has spawned. We'll have some dialogue there masking it up. I at least walk up to him and punch him. He'll say, hey, that hurts. And eventually the quest is succeeded because we've took the guard out. How cool is that, ladies and gentlemen? We can then proceed on, you know, and then talk to this dude and be like, hey, open the portal up. There we go. And now we can do whatever we need to. Awesome. So let's create some dialogue for this guard here then. So I'm going to come into my blueprints narrative dialogues folder, and in my block bridge, I will create a new dialogue for the DB bridge guard. I'll open this up. So I'll set his speaker to be bridge guard because that could be his name, and I'll adjust the name here. I'm not going to remove the text because he's not going to be doing anything else. This is his primary purpose. So we can say, hey, you just destroyed guard property, and it's going to give us some play responses, and then pretty much you're going to fight him. That'll be the end goal of it. So I could say they shouldn't have been there, which the guard can reply, right, that's it, come here, and then you'll fight him. Or the player can say, but that kid told me to, and then the guard can mockingly say something like, you did what a kid said, how old are you? And then he can just say, right, that's it, get here again. So either way, he's going to attack you. So we can just come to the class defaults. We'll also give it a camera. So we'll say, we'll try an over the shoulder shot. And because it's a tense moment, you've just done something, I'll do a nice handheld shake as well. Let's see what that looks like. And now that we've finished his dialogue, we actually need to start it. So I think as soon as we spawn him, we should be safe to play the dialogue. So I'm going to add it straight in, that begin dialogue. And just like our start spawn NPC at the start, we'll start it right there. And the dialogue will be the bridge guard. And now if we try it, it should start dialogue in front of him. You can see now if I talk to the kid, he'll ask us to destroy it. We can run up. There we go. Hey, you just destroyed guard property. They shouldn't have been there. You can see the camera's nicely shaking. But the kid told me to. You did what, a kid? How old are you? Right, that's it. Come here. And then he's going to attack me. You'll set your AI to attack. I go up and I can take him out. There we go. And then just as an extra as well, we can also come and talk to the child. And he'll say, haha, I can't believe you destroyed the guard's barrels. It was so easy. Just like that, mocking you. And that's it. That is the quest. So let's just fix a few little bits. So I didn't really notice anything from the over the shoulder doing any justice. So I'm going to try a full shot on here, and for the kids dialogue, let's just change this over to we'll try a full as well. And there we go, the dialogue shots look a lot better. We can see both parties. That looks so much better. Come up and destroy the barrels, and then finally look at that, ladies and gentlemen. They shouldn't have been there. Right, that's it. Come here. There. So we can now take out the guard. And there we go, ladies and gentlemen. That is converting our damage system and our attack system into a quest we can reuse. We've used it in this instance to block off access to a location, just like the Grand Theft Auto games do, and the kid will always mock you. This guy would eventually chase you, but we can easily take him out. How cool is that, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you for watching. Do you have any improvements you'd make to the quest? What quest would you make with it? Let me know what you would like to see next. My name is D3kryption, and I will see you next time.